Good morning, church, and welcome to part 4 of our series on the wheel illustration. I'm Jacob Mills, and today we're going to be looking at the first horizontal spoke today, fellowship. Now, make sure to subscribe to NECC for more daily content and sign up for our text daily devotional reminders, and make sure to check out the other parts if you're confused what I'm talking about here. So now let's get to the content. So, like I said, today we're covering the fellowship spoke today, this one right here. It's on the horizontal plane. Now, if you remember, last time when we talked about prayer and the word, they were vertical because they represented our direct connection and communication with God. Now, for the horizontal spokes, they represent our connection to other humans around us, as we're on the same horizontal plane. You know, God was up here, we're down here, we're all on the same level here. That's why it's horizontal. So now that we kind of understand the organization here, how do we define fellowship? Simply put, God has blessed us with other people on this earth, and we have the opportunity to get to know and grow closer with some of those people. Now, if we take a look at Matthew chapter 18, verse 20, it says, "For when 2 or more are gathered in my name, I also am in the midst of them." So we see that in gathering as believers, we can experience God together. We don't have to be in like mega church sizes to feel God. And in terms of the types of fellowship for the believer, they can kind of come in 3 categories. And I have a little drawing to demonstrate real quick. Now, again, reference this with preface with, I'm not an artist, I'm just an engineer, so don't make too much fun. First one we got here is a large group. This would encompass your Sunday church services. I guess for most of us, it's online. Next, we got small group, which would be things like group Bible study, Bible brew time, however, just a small congregation. And then the last one is one-to-one meetings. This is with either mentors or mentees or, Paul's or Barnabas, that type of thing. So each play a different part in your relationship. For instance, large group is to mainly reaffirm your believing community. God wants you to reach out to a group of large believers when you're in need along with himself. Small group includes believers bouncing concepts and discussions off of each other. This is where you're looking to learn and discuss things, but it's more centralized than large group. You obviously don't have conversations with your pastor while he's teaching. And lastly, you have one-to-one. This is the most personal, and it's focused on working on your personal development and your own walk with Jesus. Now, at another verse that demonstrates the importance of these groups, you can look in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25, and it says, "And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves, as the manner of some is, and so much the more, but exhorting one another, as ye see the day approaching." So now we can break fellowship down another way. Simply put, the fellow believers in your life we call them either Paul's, Timothy's, or Barnabas's. Now this sounds a little weird, but look at the role these characters played in the Bible. Paul played as a teacher, instructor kind of person in your life. Now, I have a little drawing for you. If you look at Timothy, he was more of the mentee. He was the person who's being taught. And then Barnabas was a best friend to Paul. So at every point of your life, I have to stress this, every point of your life, you should have someone in your life acting as one of these roles. You want a strong believer. You want a strong believer to emulate and learn from. You need someone to teach, because there's going to be someone who knows less about Christ than you, so you can always be teaching. And then you want someone to walk with you, both hand in hand in your walk, being an accountability partner in some way. And that's what a Barnabas is. Now, maybe in future Fight for Faith, I can go into detail more about these 3 distinctions and kind of what they mean and how you're supposed to play into those roles. But for now, just know that these three relationships help adamant believers grow like nothing else. And now this comes from personal experience. Seriously, like knowing this, I pray that you can take to heart how important this aspect is in terms of fellowship for your Christian life. I know in my own walk, fellowship has literally kept me afloat in my faith, and I don't believe I would be the same person I am today without the help of some people from the Navigators and NECC, who have been both great Pauls to me, and then I've gotten to learn and create Timothy's, and then just the best Barnabases that I've had throughout my youth groups and my Timothy team stuff. So would highly recommend getting involved with all 3 organizations of fellowship, meaning the large group, having a small group that you can go back to, and then also finding a one-to-one accountability partner, along with keeping those 3 relationships in your life, having someone that's always looking to teach you or always looking to pour time into you, looking to pour time into someone else, and then also finding someone to be accountable, to keep you accountable and continue to grow together. Someone who's on the same level as you. That could be a friend or whoever, however you want to play that. But just pray that you keep that in mind, and helps you understand a little bit more about fellowship. I pray that y'all have a splendid day, and stay tuned for the last installment of the Wheel illustration. We'll be looking into witnessing and how it affects our lives and those around us. Have a good one.